You've probably read the title of this video before choosing to watch it, and I think I should issue a couple of warnings. Now, it's only fair. If you are expecting lots of illustrative material, I'm afraid you should brace yourself for disappointment. You should also brace yourself for disappointment if you think I'm going to get to the answer in this one video. This is actually quite a big topic, far bigger than you might imagine, and this video is really just going to cope with why it's even a question in the first place. Because, you know, a lot of people are going to say, well, surely it's obvious. Do you really not know they're for feeding babies? Duh. Or because they're sexy, you idiot, are the two obvious answers, which are both wrong. Now, the first one is wrong because, yes, you know, they are for feeding babies in that breasts do produce milk and you can use that to feed babies. But almost every woman in the world has breasts, and yet very few of them are at the moment lactating and feeding babies with those breasts. You can tell whether a cow is a cow and not a heifer because the cow's got an udder and the heifer hasn't. Only humans have developed breasts when they are not lactating. Every single other animal only grows breasts or udders when it's lactating and then loses them after that. Why on earth would a woman who's never even had sex, let alone had a baby, grow breasts? That doesn't make any sense at all. Those breasts that are on a nullipera, did you know that word? Nullipera? Isn't it? It's an interesting thing about our society that a word that loads of other languages and other cultures have, we lack. Or rather, we do have a word, nullipera, but most people don't know what it is. And a word that a lot of other people don't have, we have virgin. We have a word virgin, which means someone who's never had sex. And some languages don't feel the need for a word for that. But nullipera is a woman who's never had a child. Surely that's a very useful word, and yet in our society we don't seem to have much of a use for that one. Weird. Anyway, why should a nullipera have breasts? Doesn't make any sense at all. So the idea that they're for feeding babies can be discounted. That's not what they're for. Women have, if you like, permanent breasts. They have a developed udder, despite the fact that they're not lactating. They might not have a baby, let alone be feeding it. So there are a lot of women around the world now who, yes, they do have children, but those children are now at university, and frankly, the breasts are not used in that way anymore. So the second wrong answer is because they're sexy, of course, you idiot. No, that's not a satisfactory answer for lots of reasons. For one reason is that they're only sexy because men find them sexy. They're not innately sexy. That sort of red blobby thing that hangs off a turkey's head, presumably if you're a turkey you find that sexy because you've somehow been programmed to find that sexy, but there's nothing innately sexy about a breast. I could go a little bit further on that one, but instead I want to concentrate on the point that there's actually something innately unsexy about a breast, because you've got to cast your mind back to a time before humans had evolved permanent breasts, when women, in fact, were flat-chested most of the time and only had breasts when they were breastfeeding. Now, at that time, having breasts was a very honest indicator that you were pretty much infertile. If you've just had a child, or if you're breastfeeding, that's actually quite an effective contraceptive. You're not really fully fertile until you've dried up again and you're ready to produce the next child. So, and it would be like an advert worn on the chest. You know, the woman would say, look at these, I'm a waste of time, guys. I'm completely infertile. Don't bother with me. Show no interest in me. Chimpanzees, males are very interested in the females when the females have got a big, pink rump bottom showing to the world, oh, they're fertile, and they will give those female chimps loads of gifts. But when they're not fertile, the males all just sort of lose interest. So why on earth would a very strong signal to the rest of the population, don't bother with me, I'm infertile, why would that become sexy? All the indications of fertility translate ultimately into sexiness. What people evolve to find sexy is always correlated somehow with fertility. So, it is a genuine conundrum. Why do women have breasts?